Alright, welcome back. Just quick announcement. First and foremost, as some of you may be watching either live or replay, but I just wanted to congratulate my good friend Will Kruger for winning the Magic Online Championship Series, the Mox today. Uh, Unfortunately, I only caught part of round one as I had family stuff to attend, but I was following it live via Twitter and updates from other friends. But big congratulations to him, no, most notably representing us well with ramp strategies in both modern and in his vintage cube draft. So he went 3-0 in vintage cube and then went 3-0 again uh, in modern. So he drafted a pretty sick. I'll actually put the link here. Now that I'm at it, for those of you curious what his deck looked like. All right. Here's his Twitch, not Twitch, his Twitter message from earlier today. So that includes both his vintage draft that he ended up with, which is a mono green like ramp strategy. Your classic, ramp strategy. It looks very similar to elves, which makes me really happy. I told him that. But in addition to that, also playing ramp in modern. So primeval titan in both formats, right? So yeah, I'll bring it up here momentarily. So here is the modern deck. Pretty standard Titan Shift deck. I think last time I played was a long time ago. I think Ren and 6 didn't exist yet, but otherwise, nothing too special. Um, Actually, let me go back. Wish is a cool card to essentially make better use of sideboard slots, and then this looks like an elf deck, right? You have natural order, well, Magus in the natural order. Your natural order targets in Hornet Queen, Nasty Terasti, Crater Hoof. Rofellos is a monster if you're in a mono green strategy, if you have that. Uh, and then your Manadorix. Pretty strong, no power, notably, but went 3-0 with this. I saw the first match, which was great. Um, will use Reclaimer to get a state to assemble the stage depths combo, which is pretty sweet. All right. Yeah. So wanted a quick shout out to Will on that. Um, Also, I know that Fox Mitten had her first legacy events today and went notably 4-2. Actually, lost the winning in. So very happy for her, and she seemed to enjoy the elves deck. So looking forward to more reports from her. Also, I know Fluffy 21. From what I heard, top eighted the Legacy Challenge. So shout out to Fluffy. Who is in my Discord and will give us a hard time from time to time, joking, since he usually plays the traditional build. One of the strongest elf pilots around, definitely. Also, good friend of Marcus, I think, from what I understand. I think. I think they're okay. Also, I want to give a shout out to Curran as well for what's it called, doing some testing alongside with me recently, and then I know he went 4-2 in the challenge, finishing I think 18th or something. So his breakers weren't too great, but I think 4-2 in the challenge is still pretty solid overall. But with that said, I'm gonna start at 1-0 tonight. I just played this match actually before the stream started because I wasn't sure if I was gonna stream or not. We're starting a little bit late tonight, actually very late tonight, but I figure late stream is better than no stream, so um, yeah, so I ended up reversing course on that, and deciding, okay, we'll go ahead and stream. We played against Mulch, 8 Mulch, and really should have been 2-0. Our opponent played a little bit sloppy, but so did we. We probably should not have lost game 2. Hey Sadra, how's it going? Yeah, I apologize for the late start. Had some Father's Day, family stuff to go to today. It was pretty fun. I had some nice burgers, but keep. But because of that, we're getting a late start, right? So I think here. All right, we're playing against some kind of combo deck. I don't think preordained turn one is anything I want to see usually. Okay, so as a general rule of thumb, you want to fetch to thin, but the thing is, we already have a basic here, so we're actually gonna leave it for the basic for the arbor because I think that actually does more for our deck. All right, so we're gonna once first, and then we're gonna green sun into. I think with this given hand, we probably want the approach lure, and then we're just gonna ramp. I believe they are in combo based on the preordained start. I mean, this I feel like our user is like usually on show and tell, but I mean it's only a guess. But preordained screams combo though, regardless. The reason why we didn't take the visionaries because I think we want the speed at the moment. Because I do believe we're playing against a combo mirror. Could be a C's here. No, the rest. So they're gonna take the glimpse, which is kind of cool because it means now our collector oof is gonna be coming down. Here, just sequencing purposes. Um, on the off chance they are doomsday, I'm just gonna green some for one, just to force the collector oof through. Not to mention, pretty quick clock too, right? That's pretty funny, Sadra. I heard Top Gun is great though, for what it's worth. But yeah, I've been meaning to watch it. We recently actually watched the Top Gun together, my wife and I, the original one, in preparation for Top Gun Maverick, but I haven't got around to it yet. Okay, so they conceded, and I think there's only two possibilities of our opponent, what they could be on, right? It's either Doomsday or it's either Ant. But I'm not entirely sure which. Uh, yeah, I don't know which, unfortunately. But we'll see, I guess. All right. I think Trap is good. I think the rest is good. Agent is good. Notably, Agent won us a game against Lands in the previous round, but that was off screen though. Off stream, excuse me, though. Endurance here I think is good either way. The so okay. The frightening thing here is it looks like according to Goldfish they're on some kind of strange show and tell deck. So I'm a little bit nervous to bring in the endurance. I'm just gonna assume that they are on. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that they are on. What is it called? I'm gonna assume that they are on either Doomsday or Ant, right? Like they did concede there, which is kind of strange, but neither here nor there. All right. If we need to, we will adjust our boarding in game three, especially for these learning purposes. I don't I don't want to just assume my opponent's gonna be on something, especially some strange deck, which I mean they could be on, I guess, based on what we saw turn one, but otherwise it doesn't really look like it. Given that we have six discard plus a trap, don't think I think we can do a little bit better than this. This is like not like it's good against their graveyard hands, but otherwise not particularly great. Although really good if they're on that show and tell deck that we think that they are. But I'm gonna mull. Hey Mike, how's it going? Great to have you on as always. I'm gonna mull. Alright, this is better. Yeah, I don't I think you were on last time, Mike, and we were testing the one second, Sager. I will answer your question in 1 second. Yeah, I think we were testing last time the agent, sorry, the artisan agent package, into inconclusive results. It seemed like it was okay last time, but notably didn't actually win the game for us, but was relevant in the. Ooh, that smells like Veil or Fluster. Um, and I don't think we walk into that. Okay, so to answer your question, Sadra, Sharkshot hits hard enough to get past its narrowness. I actually personally do not think so, but I hope I'm wrong. The reason being is because there are situations where it will be better than because it immediately takes off like a DRC or Delver. I just think it's way too narrow is the issue, and the thing is it's not a guaranteed kill too, right? All right. I think it's kind of now or never, right? If they have it, they have it. Okay. Well, the good thing is like now we know how our opponent is playing, so maybe we don't walk into the Veil Summoner later on if they just hold up green. I think maybe like for me, maybe it's just correct to just not run it in when they hold that like an obvious Veil Summoner up. All right. I think here we're just gonna duress them and see what happens. I do not actually think Veil Summoner is a great legacy card. You have to be like the fastest of the fast, in my opinion, because Veil Summoner is not quite great in the combo mirror. Because it's kind of reactive, right? Is the only issue. Now, if you're like the fastest combo deck, all right. Okay. I guess we take the wish. We put that. We can attack with that. I wonder what they hid. I mean, we're not playing around anything. If they have it, they have it. So they're gonna put one Omniscience back and probably the Tomb. And then they have like fresh cards. So they were on what we were hoping they were not, but we'll see what they do here. It might be a show and tell here. Oh, okay, that's eh, reasonable, I guess. I guess they're afraid of dying, which I don't blame them. And we are playing like we have natural run hand. Don't bail me again, please. So the good thing about this is we have almost full information. We can assume the top card is probably, show and tell, or probably better brainstorm into show and tell. I think that's what they're looking for. Shuffle the last card you looked at. Then shuffle and put the last cards you looked. Sure. All right. What do they have? Guess it does not matter. So I think the card that we are most afraid of is like brainstorm into well, actually that doesn't even work, right? Maybe a sweeper. Sure. So they put the omniscience into play, which I don't think we actually. I think, well, they're just dead, right? I don't know what they're doing here. Lou off. All right, that was not too bad. Even the Veil Summer couldn't really stop, like multiple discard spells. All right, I think a couple lessons to learn there. I think it really depends, right? Like, do you want to run, walk into the possible Veil of Summer? I think we ended up doing so, but um, it felt like we were under some pressure, and I feel like we have to potentially walk into it at that point if they don't tap out, right? But we still got the game, which speaks to the strength of having more than one discard, obviously. Even if you got blown out, so to speak, by a cryptic command. All right, let's go. Let's answer some chat questions. So, okay, actually, I always forget doing this, but here are the socials once again. Also, the promotion with regards to my Patreon metagame update is still valid and will be for as far as I know. So if you subscribe on Twitch, just ping me on Discord or on Twitter, and I will send you the monthly metagame update that I have for every month. I'm actually so it's gonna actually get better too. The metagame update. I talked a little bit about this last time, where I will go over the percentages of each metagame, each deck in the metagame, and in addition to that, go over the top the have it filtered by the last 14 days instead of 30 days for more recent data. So I think there should be a noticeable improvement there. That's probably the best way I can phrase it. All right. Keep. Hopefully, it's not the mirror. Looks like it is. I think here, that's pretty good. I think given that, I think we have the natural order in here. I think we just want to ramp. There's some argument for the reclaimer there, but I think we just want to ramp here. Off of basic fours, I don't think I'm playing around removal. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through wanting to start again? Is that a philosophical question, Esper87? I'm not sure, I'm not, maybe I'm not understanding that question completely. I feel like we're gonna die next turn to a natural order, but we gotta hope, right? The artisan notably quite interesting here, right? Because we can actually get a grist if the Arcanist. What's the EV of being a plastic? Do you ever feel paper? Uh, just saw your moto name. I think we fire it off, and then we just hope not to die here, right? Obviously we hope to draw the guy's cradle, but even if we don't, it's still an ancestral recall. Yeah, we're just hoping not to die to hoof here. Like the scariest line here is well, okay, that's annoying. I didn't want to pitch the artisan. Now I'm a little bit punished. We could have got another draw deeper if I thought about pitching a card there. The reason being is in case we draw the wirewood, it's a draw one, right? It's or extra draw is probably the best way. I can explain it. We are a oh shoot a philosophical bunch here too. So if they Archon here, the Artisan is actually kind of good because we can deal with the Archon, and then we just have to set up for natural order the following turn. Well, sort of. We would have to do it the same turn. We'd have to Artisan for the grist into the natural order. If they don't kill us here, then we just natural order and kill them ourselves. Alright, they are playing our version, which is nice. So they're gonna, looks like shields down. And then we have a, well, it's a little bit awkward. Need a Cradle, unfortunately. Because that deals 24, 26 damage. They would lose most of their hand here. See, the problem is I need enough attackers. So I think we have no choice but to force a block here. They can survive, but they lose most of their board. It's 26. We could be dead here ourselves. You just gotta hope not. It had to be like creature natural order, and then we're dead. Hey Romari, how's it going? Yeah, we are dead to a natural order at the moment. But the oh. They are. I think we're dead. They tap 4 mana right now. It really is. I don't enjoy the. Although this mirror is more interesting to be honest. Okay, yeah, we're just dead. We were on the draw too, which hurts. I think. What was I gonna say? Entirely possible not having the extra draw because I didn't pitch the Fiend Artisan could have cost me. That's entirely possible, but we'll never know. Because that would have been extra draw potentially for the Cradle, right? But I think odds are we're gonna lose anyways. All right. Just one of those things we just live with. I think given that we don't have many things to board in, we probably, excuse me. I think I like keeping the duress in, because natural order is how we lose for the most part. Our opponent notably typed GG to me, and which is a little bit interesting when they had lost, right? Like it's like a little awkward now. They typed GG, and they ended up killing me there. I think we keep that. A little bit of a slower hand, but the Thoughtseize makes it keepable. And we have a slight edge we can draw in the mirror if we draw Agent, which is just insane in the mirror. Also hurts that we didn't go first, though, to be fair. This matchup is not super interesting. Most of the time, if you are going first, you probably do win. I think we lead with that. The reason why you lead with the shepherd here instead of the wirewood is because in case you draw the birch lore, you can actually do things before having to tap the cradle. Sure. So I think here we're just gonna go seize into attack probably. Yeah. Let's see what we have here. Alright, there's the natural order that we were talking about. I think that's the only card that matters. If they want to trade, be my guess. They held a birch lore in hand. Possible they top decked the glimpse. Oh my goodness, that is gonna be nasty. Alright, I'm gonna pass. This is gonna be straight up nasty if they fetch or anything along those lines. Alright, I think here we do it. I don't want to give them the option. So we have a nice glimpse, and they're gonna have not impossible, but a very difficult time beating it, agent. I think here we just lead like this. Opponent seems to be playing trap, I think. We have the snuff out, is why we're attacking. If they try to double block, we'll kill one, and then it's a full blowout. Debating if I want to use the snuff out. I think probably. Yeah. Actually, what am I doing? I didn't need it to do that. Because agent's out. So that was bad for me. opponent probably should have hit the Boseiju. They're probably gonna do an upkeep. That's reasonable, I guess. Probably that. I think we're just gonna dig deep here for the Cradle. See if we have it. There it is. Alright, we'll see if we can get game 3. Agent was a monster this game. Presumably a natural order or something in their hand. Um, I think this is like pretty reasonable how we boarded. Like obviously hindsight's 2020, but kicking myself for not evoking that game 1. Can't keep this unfortunately. Sure. I think here, put that back. Our hand's a little bit slow. Also a little awkward to have natural without Archon in the deck. And then here they're fetching the basic for some reason. Probably getting Green Sun on turn 1. I think this game here is going to be an uphill battle. I do not think we're favored this game 3. And unfortunately, that's just the reality of playing a mirror. The Cradle here is quite good, I think. Alright, they did that. It's interesting. The C's is off, which is also interesting. I I think I'd take the Green Sun, but then the other cards like help them ramp, right? I think I'd just take the Green Sun. I could have taken the C's, but I think this game's gonna get long, so they're gonna play the Birch Lord into the C's here, and then probably take our natural order, and then we'll slam the Artisan next turn. That's good as gone here. They're gonna seize us. The other thing is, if you don't take C's, they may not be inclined to play it. It's like a Jedi mind trick kind of thing. I were them, I would take the artisan because you already saw agent, right? But that's fine. It's a top deck war now. Shoot, we're dead. Cannot beat top decks. Like there was no good take at the time, except maybe there's yeah, actually the C's didn't matter, right? The artisan would have played down. I mean, potentially we take the visionary, but that's not great either. I think we're just doomed regardless. Again, one of those things. If you are on the draw in the mirror, not a good place to be. At least we lost the true mirror, right? To the reclaimer mirror. Um, the power of natural order is was on this full display there. In the meantime, let's just see if I have any notifications. Nope. Here, okay. I was gonna click on the deck list, but we can wait. Thank you for the fall. 9 a.m. 6. Well played there. Well played. I think here. Yeah, I'm aware of that. 9 a.m. 6 bit is the same username. This one's kind of tough. It's like between the Visionary or the Reclaimer, right? I think given that we have no other payoff and we're just gonna set up for a turn three or turn three natural order anyways, I think Visionary seems pretty good. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. 9 a.m. 6 bit. Yeah. Have you been playing the list for or this deck for a while? Or I mean, you seem to know what you're doing. So you know, obviously the heads up play to Green Sun first before the Thoughtseize when you're on the play. On the draw, I don't think you're afforded that luxury, but I do think you played very well there. So I think here, I think we just ramp. Um, yeah, if you like my YouTube, here are my socials. Might be of interest to you as well. The one that I think the one that most people find the most useful is a okay. That yeah. So yeah, you're definitely your macro game plan was pretty on point there. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me you played for the last 3 4 years. All right. A little bit awkward for sure, but now I'm kind of glad I took the visionary. Maybe they forced that. I don't know. A little bit awkward here for sure. Drawing the second natural order. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoy my stuff on YouTube. Patreon, I think, would be like another place where there's like pretty good content. If I were if I were to say so myself, I think. Jeez, I cannot believe they're playing that card, but maybe it's okay. Should have hit the arbor to be honest, but I mean there's merit in that too. If they don't have like a force. If I were them, probably the field seems useless. That doesn't seem right to get that back. I was gonna say I would get the Baseju back probably. I think before they change their mind, I'm just gonna pitch this. Sure. The one damage in case they swords for no reason, there is not worth it. You cannot always assume your opponent. Well, for the most part, cannot assume your opponent can always play well. I think here we slam natural order again. That was a bait spell. If I sequenced it correctly, what should have happened was wow, they let that resolve. Jesus. If I did that, I would have fetched first and then glimpse. That would have been better sequencing because it doesn't give them a window to swords my arbor. That which would have been super awkward. Should be game now. I don't think they can beat a progenitor, but I could be wrong. Especially on 3 cards. I mean, I guess like I don't know, dress down into like swords or something like that is probably one way to do it. They mill their stuff, return the Beseju, sure. I think they gain life. If yeah, they did. I think we pressure some more. Also, in case they have some, I don't think they have edicts, but you never know. No need to reveal this right now. The other reason why the Reclaimer is like relevant here is because in case they Uro, we still have lethal. There's the Uro. And then now that the sword's the Reclaimer, right? Oof, that's annoying. Alright, so they're gonna go to 14. And then they're in a situation where they're trying to race this Progenitus now. I'd be impressed if they can do it, but I don't think they can, but we'll see. There's no universe where we don't attack. Conveniently, our opponent also is at 4, so they can't even draw extra if they wanted to. Earl puts him at 7. I think it's like swords are on Earl or something like that. We're not blocking. Well, let me see. What are they putting back? The Wither Bloom? They gotta get. Okay, it's gotta be swords on like their own thing. Because it's a 10 from Progenitus here. So it had to be on the Earl. And even then, right? Like, they still need a route to victory, which. What are they doing here? Sure. Go to 8. Sure. I mean, it's gotta be swords, right? Because, and it has to be swords on Earl specifically. So what they did there is they used the Wither Bloom to actually clear the top because they know what's on top of the library. Should be game now, unless it's swords. Sure. Technically, I should float there, but I assume this game's over. Oh, actually, it might be another Earl? Oh, okay, sure. Earl puts him at 11, which is kind of convenient. Sure. All right, so they just wanted to extract the extra information, I guess, potentially out of us. That would be one benefit to their line right there. All right. Against these kind of decks, I feel like we want C's because, well, let me see. Actually, I think endurance is probably okay. Um, it's a little bit hard though. We definitely don't want that or this. And the C's would be taking the engineer, but it lines up pretty poorly against Earl. I think we play around the Earl in the wastelands. So I think I like this strategy better. I don't think this is an agent matchup. And submit. I could board in the Caracas, but I don't think that's the kind of game plan I want to play. The artisan noticeably can get the grist, so something to keep in mind. Something also that we can potentially, well, yeah, this is like kind of the flex spot we're looking at right now. The agent notably would want us a game against elves, so at least pretty relevant there. We have to have a minimum density of turn 0 / turn 1 cards to bridge us to the agent, but I think we are. in the ballpark, if not there, with 7, right? Really, a green force ability is what we're looking for, but I don't. I mean, I wouldn't hold my breath for that. All right, so we get a ramp turn 1. Hopefully, I mean they probably have Wither Bloom command if I were to guess, or swords, which is annoying, but I mean it is what it is. It's probably Wither Bloom command given Underground Sea there, and they're fed. Well, yeah. So they're gonna kill our Arbor and then get a land back. Just the card is obscene against us. Fixes their land drops too. It's a card I actually played myself for a little bit with a blue command. The problem is I don't think it, for us at least, lines up very well against the format at the moment. Uh, because it's like doesn't really kill the Delver threats unconditionally and doesn't answer Murktide Regent. I think here we do that and see what they do. Was tempted to glimpse there. I probably should have, to be honest, because we had the follow up natural order, right? Yeah, I kind of regret that now, right? We really needed a hit land drop there. Could be a hole breacher, but I'm not 100% sure. Actually, hold on. That's kind of hot. That's actually a really cool line that we're able to take at the moment. Um, let's see if they have the answer. Container Priest? I think given our hand, we're just gonna play it safe and get the Progenitus and essentially dare them to beat us. Oh, actually, we pitched a hoof anyways, so there's that too. Sure, why not? Oh my god, they have the swords? Oh my god, really? Jesus. Why is that in their dark bank deck? Jeez, alright. Did not see that coming. Yep. I mean, they got us pretty good there. Did not see that coming. Like, I don't think I could have predicted that. This is like really awkward now. Oh shoot. That was bad. We threw away a green sun for no reason, which is on me. I should have checked to make sure that the other arbor was still there. I don't think the attack is worth it here. It has not on stream though, Saja. I got to do it twice. One of which, okay, interesting. I got to do it twice. One of which, what is it called? One of which drew out a containment priest, which allowed me to keep natural order in hand. And I probably would have won anyways, for what it's worth. Um, and then the other time I did it was, I think I got like a visionary. It was against the last player actually in the first round, but it was off stream. Yeah, for sure, Saja. That is the problem with that card, right? It does have immediate impact. Did we play it? I think we're probably just dead this game. I definitely was blindsided by that Terminus. I typically don't expect Terminus out of these underground C decks. So they got me pretty good. I just figured the shields were down and they were not, unfortunately. So we're probably gonna have to play it in three. Now based on what we've seen, the question is, do we want discard over the endurance? Terminus is definitely. What the heck is going on? I honestly don't know. I don't think I've played against this deck before, but now we're drawing the wrong part of our deck. One thing I actually wish, but I just don't think it's good enough, is if Reclaimer can just like fix our flood situation. It sort of can, but I just don't think the land that you can play instead of it is just like garbage sanitarium or something like that is worth it. Is the problem. I but yeah, I don't understand what's going on here. Why are they playing all these weird cards? Wait, I don't have any more fetchables? Oh, Jesus Christ. I forgot that thing only gets basic land type, so it doesn't actually count um, Boseiju, which is like a nice addition to the deck because sometimes you will reclaimer away dead fetches for like a Boseiju or a Bog like late in the game, right? That hurts. Shoot. Heads up play by my opponent though, to realize that. This is not looking good. Our, our, our opponent's deck seems kind of soft to graveyard hate though, for whatever that's worth. With the Uros and the Loams. Alright, they're gonna escape Uro here. I think we're probably just dead. I mean, so they're issuing the red splash in these 4C Loam decks for black. Presumably, we saw Witherbloom command. Presumably also Engineer. They have a bunch of cards that we have to fight through though. Odds are we're not gonna be able to capitalize. Yeah, I think you might be right, Sadra. The artisan it does feel slow because they did answer for that whatever that's worth, but ideally in this kind of deck you want to force you want to be able to capitalize immediately before they answer it, and unfortunately artisan does not do that. Nor is it protected by like oh my god, what is going on here? So this might be the testing that we needed to eliminate the artisan, which is fine. I don't mind, being a card not working out. Like that's why we try cards. I do think a skill that is relevant is knowing which cards are worth trying. I cannot believe they are getting us with this Boseiju nonsense. We're probably dead, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna concede. Scales in size and provide. Yeah, if they don't have white removal, then it's a lot better, right? I mean, because like, blue red can't kill it in late game, for instance. Um, I need to think about whether I want. I think this is fine. We just run it back here. The terminus definitely blindsided me, but again, I think now we know about it. It does, but then like, so does I forgot what it's called, the 2-drop. Keep. I forgot what it's called, but whenever it's like a 2-drop, 2/2. Oh, Wildborn Preserver. That's what it was. So that does the same thing for whatever that's worth, Sadra, and that thing can grow real big. Ponder. Yep. So yeah, I think maybe we just play the second Birch Floor. The situations where that comes into play is kind of narrow. The agent for Wildborn Preserver. So let me put that here. gonna fire off a glimpse and see what they do. All right. I think we just uh, attack here. I really just want to see someone shoot down Gristlebrand. I'm sure somebody will do it. I'm sure somebody will do it. Uh, I'm gonna call bluff. I don't think they have the creature. Or the trophy for sniping Emrakul. I do. What the heck is going on? So let's see. We played the Visionary. We bounced the Visionary, and then we play the Green Sun. Sure. Did they? I guess. I think we. I think we draw here. See what they do first of all. Plus. And then we're not gonna commit more to the board in case this is a terminus, like Romario is suggesting. Sure. You can play Arbors if they get terminated. You that's true. That is a pseudo combo, right? All right, I'm gonna commit to the board because I know I'm gonna natural order next turn anyways. We put the terminus back on so they can't sanctuary for it. I think here we're gonna once and see if we can dig for the shepherd. Okay, we have the shepherd here. So now they're just dead. Should have forced the once. but I wouldn't too. Like it's you're playing with fire though. That's the only thing, right? When you tap out. Once upon a time, sounds a lot like dig through time there, right? All right. 3-1. 2-1 on stream. Like to be fair, like in Newton fashion, I played real sloppy that match one. It was just off stream. It was against a Lance player. I probably should have won 2-0 and threw the second game for no reason. Ramar, we gotta do a stream again soon. Either you play elves or I'll play some Doomsday, or we're gonna have the Legacy community throw their hands up against us if we play like blue red. I think the elf community would be very mad at me. We're playing against Eric Landon. Hey, Inigo, how's it going? Keep. Nice one of endurance here against the reanimator player. There you go. I think here we take the land, fetch. This is the sort of the Xwell appreciation stream. Whatever happens to his imposter though, we will never find out. But I already mentioned earlier, Inigo, that Will won the Mox, which is just super impressive. I'm just so happy for him. So for those who don't know, the real X-Whale, Will Kruger, won the Magic Online Championship today. All right, walked right into it. I think we just pitched the natural order. Just the way we drew it up, right? We pitch the natural order, so we draw the second one. Will Kruger. Their alias is X Whale. Here's the link to it. That's what they played today, but they ended up winning. It's the event that I qualified for in 2020. That I played in November 2020. He notably, finished the job that I couldn't do. Right, win with Primeval Titan in a high stakes event. I think here we're a little bit short. So if I hoof here, it would be. Let me see. Is that lethal? I don't think so. So everything would be getting 3, I guess. And then that's 4 plus 8, 12, 7. Yeah, I think we just do it. It's lethal next turn. So reanimate is off the table now here as well. It's a 1-turn clock. Yeah, for sure. It was a meta call. It doesn't have a good blue-red matchup, but it tends to be good against what people consider the best deck in the format right now, which is Yogg. Sorry, not Yogg. you're getting to Yacht, but which is Oat Myth elemental control. All right. Titan, yeah, has a black, I heard blue red matchup, but is good against the best deck in the format, which he made a meta call with Stefan Schultz for anybody who knows. So that's a pretty good indicator where it is. Yogg probably plays a lot like Elves, if I were to guess. Here we're just bringing a million discard. Inigo likes to make the joke that whenever I have a problem, my solution is always just add more discard. All right. I think we don't want the oof. We don't want the glimpses. I just wish we had more playable, like hate cards that fit within the strategy in the way Reclaimer and Deathrite Shaman do. But that is another topic for another day. So we can get a 4-1 potentially here. And I think I am close to the verdict that the Artisan is not worth it. Uh, I think in this situation, what are we putting back here? Maybe probably the natural order actually. For sure. The only concern about Agent is you have to actually get to turn 3, but if you get there, it is just an insane card. For sure, Sager. I mean, we've tested Agent before. It's just that before, the configuration was a little bit different. We could, for sure, Lawrence. Glad to see you here, Lawrence, for sure. Yeah, actually, I mentioned in my Discord today, Lawrence, that one of the tricks that helps beat Moon Stompy is to endurance, to go from 2 to 4 mana with a Cradle. That way you can dodge their Furies or whatever. Sure. That way you can dodge their Furies and then you get underneath it for your Progenitus, right? Maybe they'll go for it here. Who knows? I wanted a Reclaimer, but I think I'll have to settle. Yeah, because the thing is, like, they usually the Moon Stompy player, what they'll do is they'll see when you get to 3 mana and then sweep then. But if you go from 2 to 4, uh, you usually will just steal the win, right? Okay, so this is pretty easy win. I think Reanimator low key is one of our best matchups. You typically will lose game 1, but should be favored post board because you just have like insane hate against them. And when I say insane hate, I'm talking about like obviously the 4 endurances post board plus Reclaimer plus Once Upon a Time to Find Them plus discard. Um, over what deck, Sadra? All right. Quick review of what we just played against. So off stream, I beat lands. I should have really been 2-0, but I tend to play really sloppy first match of the day or night. And then we beat, I think it was like some show and tell, like blue black show and tell. So the thing about Elder Scale, where I'm against, what is it called? Moonstorm. I think you're probably right. Like the only way they can remove it is like Dead Gone or Shatter Skull, some whatever it's called, smashing. But the thing is, like Elder Scroll tends to not have many applications besides that, right? Like if you look at how the sideboard is built, almost everything you it's like you use every part of the buffalo, so to speak, right? The discard tends to be really universally good. The removal tends to be universally good. Same as endurance. The Caracas is like the one card that is like a little bit more narrow, but I think still probably worth it because of how popular merit lage strategies are. And it can be found off. You essentially have 9 virtual copies between Green Sun, Reclaimer, and the Caracas itself, and can be found off the Once Upon a Time. I think the verdict is probably in though, and the Artisan is probably just not worth it. I could just play another Birch Lore. So actually, let's go to the drawing board here. All right. Here's like some of the stuff I'm like messing around with at the moment. I think we can easily just cut this now, and while it can be good, I think probably don't need it. The agent is like interesting because it can be good, but might be a little slow. For those who are curious, here's a stock list. I'll bring it up at one. It probably looks along the lines of this. You have the second trap to buy time, and then actually I think a crop rotation is like reasonable as well. Where's the crop here? Maybe something along these lines is like pretty stock. I kind of feel like after the core of discard, remove, and we had like two. Yeah, for sure, Sage. It's unfortunate, but I think if you want your deck to be kind of like universally good, and while yeah, if you want your deck to kind of be universally good, I think you have to play cards that come in multiple matchups because, um, like I don't think we have the luxury of blue decks where we can just play really narrow hate because they have the luxury of force of will, which is the big thing, right? Like we have discard, but that's sideboard, and essentially we're just eating up 4 to 6 slots already because of that. I think realistically speaking, I think I've talked about this before. I think the seasons are like a must. I think the endurances are a must, and I think this is like probably close to a must because we have reclaimer, right? So that leaves eight slots. Sorry, that's 8 slots already, and then really you want like 3 removal because you want to board out the natural order package against Delver. So that brings up to 11, right? So really after that we only have like 4 slots, and then between those 4 slots it's like trap, extra discard, crop. We used to play leyline. I just don't think it's necessary anymore unless like your whole metagame is like all oops or something like that. The reason being is because you get to a point where you're doubling up on um, graveyard hate and not in a good way. What I mean by that is like the reason why endurance and reclaimer are good is because they're graveyard hate that do other things when you don't need graveyard hate. And I think leyline, while really strong, doesn't have that flexibility, and I don't think we need it because, granted, we were lucky to beat Reanimator game one there. I do think we are fine against Reanimator, and unless it's something like Oops Off Spells, I'm not really afraid of graveyard decks. Um, Endurance, notably being a creature, is like huge against these like soft graveyard decks like Ant. Um, and obviously very good against Doomsday too, right? Like putting everything on the bottom. I think from there is like depending what you want. You can play that second snuff out over the murderous cut. I found murderous cut to be better because we need more help against Delver. I think the matchups where snuff out tends to be insane, we're probably already favored by at least a little bit, or it's not like out of the realm, if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like the endurance has just come in too many matchups, right? And I think the crop rotation is pretty good because it's like a Gaia's charm, so to speak, right? It's like graveyard hate. It's a dark ritual. It's a Caracas. I think really the cyber almost kind of builds itself at this point, depending what you want to hate. Um, Let me see what are the other options. I think agent over crop is like okay, right? Like it comes in for certain matchups. It also depends if we want to beat these like turn one decks like the Epic Gamble or the Epic Storm. If we do, I think we need to play 2 traps, or we just choose to ignore them, or or hope like other decks beat them for us because I do think we are not favored in those matchups. We can just cut the traps altogether and just like play with fire, so to speak. Um, Actually, something that is interesting is maybe just playing more endurance main, right? Like I think we can probably get away with not having two Birchlow Rangers, something along the lines of, or the crop main for speed. I can see that too. And then we just open up another slot. Like this is a hate card, right? Although it makes our hand a little bit more awkward sometimes, so maybe not. I think let's see if we do sideboard and then we play maybe two main. We could play the second trap and just like really have a lot of hate. Um, yeah, I am debating between if I want endurance main or crop main. My gut tells me probably endurance because it's a creature. I've been asked about Caracas. It tends to be kind of bad. The reason being is because it's not a creature. It's like fully dead. Because all our spells cost green, right? So I think we could just try this and see how that works out, just for fun. What do we add? Did we add like? Actually, we didn't add even the agent. There's like possible this crop rotation should just be agent, but I think crop is pretty good. Like the way this deck is built, it's almost like green soup, right? Like you just want all cards that are always good that happens to kind of fit the game plan. Um, what I mean by that is like you have the core kill cards of like natural order and glimpse, but then really when you're not comboing, your cards do other things. And I think I'm at a point where I just want to just squeeze as much into the main as I can, perhaps. And that way the sideboard is like really freed up. Right. One of the issues with this deck is we don't have much of a sideboard because of addressing the combo matchup, which I think we do beat, but at a cost. Actually, something I realized is we're probably off for our mapping with regards to Delver now because we just brought in a card, but we didn't add one that was good for Delver. Well, in this list, Sager, we have two for whatever that's worth. Yeah, I think you have an argument for sure, Sadra. But we do have two for whatever that's worth in this list. But yeah, I typically don't really like one trap. I really actually despise the card. It's just that it just happens to be good against the decks that we're afraid of. I do think the worst matchup for us is the Epic Gamble. Anybody who's watched me for a moment knows I've lost to Tony Scapone multiple times on stream now. So yeah, I kind of wish I didn't register this list so quickly because I think the mapping is slightly off now because we took a card that is namely Birchlow Rangers and removed it, and now unless we boarded the crop, which is like not the best, our sideboard mapping is a little off. No, for sure, Sadra, all good. I think we're playing against High Tide. Hey, High Star, how's it going? And if that's the case, we're probably already dead. Um, we kept the slower hand, and I believe they are on High Tide. For sure, Tony. Actually, the Bloodstained Mire means they're not on high tide. Wonder what they're on. Maybe I don't think Grixis Control would want to fetch double island, but I mean I could be wrong. I could be wrong. It could be. I don't even know what. Like, there's Grixis Control. I'm trying to think what plays Mire that would go double island. Could be Ant still. Like they sometimes have one Mire. Oh, there you go. Okay, so my guess was correct. Yeah, the Mire is sometimes one of an Ant. No, I think it's Ant. Like Island Swamp is to me Ant. So probably should have been paying attention. No opinions. I think they played well. Like I mean, I don't know what else to say besides that, right? I could have bogged them, but I don't know. I wasn't like super paying attention right now, Sadra. To cut them off 2 mana. So instead of 8, they had 6. Maybe this means I don't know if they go for passive. I doubt they go for passive flames, but you never know. I think us not bogging them just like cost us the game here, right? Like I just wasn't paying attention because I was responding to chat, unfortunately. I don't think it would have mattered though, for what it's worth, because they could have just add Nas from like 18 and were presumably dead still. Sure. No, don't worry about it, Sager. I'm pretty sure we would have lost anyways. Like especially game one where they're at 18 for they can just add nauseum, and I think we just lose regardless. All right. I mean, there's a chance they whiff, but I'm almost certain we would have lost. All right, now luckily we do have the traps, which is like kind of insane in this matchup. Also, we like to do things in hard mode, anyways, right? It wasn't deterministic, but we were likely dead, if that makes sense. But with regards to the Warriors, though, I think Steph now is like a top 10 player all time, right? Like, I wouldn't put him in the top 5, but I think he's top 10. Actually, no better, no worse than top 15, I think, and around the top 10 mark, I would say, along the lines of like Hakeem and whatnot. Gotcha. So yeah, that is my my opinion on the Warriors. I do think next year. So my team is the Clippers. I think if they can stay healthy, and that's a big if, like they gotta low manage the hell out of Kawhi. I do think they have as good a chance as anybody, including the Warriors. And then out of the East, I would expect Milwaukee to be reloaded with Middleton, coming back from injury. Here I'm leading with Once Upon a Time because what's it called? I want to hit land drops, right? Hmm. Do we take the Burning Wish? They probably seize me, and then yeah, I think we take the tutor. They seize us. They take the Green Sun. We're gonna play the Reclaimer and the Heritage, and then go from there. So one thing that is pretty big is when you know how your opponent's deck plays out, it helps a lot in the actual matchup. I don't know if the Warriors can re-sign both Poole and Wiggins. I mean, I guess they can just go deeper into the tax, but we'll see. I suspect it's gonna be either or, based on what I saw. I Above all else, I think health is the thing. Above all else, they daze for some random reason. They brainstorm here, and then we'll see what they do. Why they have Spell Pierce is beyond me. Besides a budget option in place of Fluster Storm, because it's so much worse. The cap is something that is pretty important, I think, Sager. If you really want to get into like the weeds of basketball, um, essentially the way you get around the loop, you find the loophole of the cap is you just go over the cap when you already have all the players, and then you sign them and just take the tax hit. Obviously, not every team can do this because what is it called? Not every team can do this because there's some small markets that have, I guess, less wealthy billionaires, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah, but you're a storm deck. Why do you care about walkers? I guess Narset would be the one, but again, you just want to go underneath most of the time. I think we attack. I don't think they go to their yard here. Actually, that was a mistake. In case they discard our hand, we can endurance. So that was a mistake. That was like real bad of me. The only thing that's good is they still have to guess what's the last card in our hand. All right, that makes it easy. We know they have a Pierce. which makes it a little awkward. There's no Archon, keep that in mind, Sadra. The reason why I sure. The reason why I played the endurance was because in case we drew discard, I want Thoughtseize, I mean, to be active. I don't actually agree with that, Sadra. I actually think this matchup is like pretty close to even, personally. And that's without Mind Break Trap. Um, I know Mike, who may or may not be in Twitch chat right now, um, has a pretty good record against elves. But I think he also agreed that he can see it being close to even. Like a lot of it is pilot dependent as well, because I know my win rate against amps per se is above 50%. It's probably I don't know. I'm ballparking it, but probably around 60% if I were to guess. And I could see it being around 50 being the true win rate because I do think the 60% may be inflated because maybe I'm playing against players who are messing up against me or whatnot, or they're learning the deck. Against the Epic Gamble and against Test, I definitely think we are underdogs. Yes, so a hard cap like the NFL, I think, would be more interesting. Honestly, to be honest, I see a lot of arguments. Oops, just mulligan this. I see a lot of arguments where they should just get rid of the cap altogether. We have like 7 cards besides this. I think we keep, and then we just put the order. Well, we put the reclaimer away. The matchup is Ant. I could go to 5 to dig for a better disruption, but I don't think that was advised. Ideally, you just have it in the opening 7 or 6, right? Like discard. We do have a lot of higher density, and just we didn't see it. I mean, better lucky than good. They shuffled, and this is just all mana besides the ponder. So matchup is Ant Romario. All right, we know their hand then. Land. It's times like this where I kind of wish the Archon was in the deck, but it is not. Also, ad nauseum is more likely to not get there in post board games for Ant because they boarded in like removal and whatnot. Two cards on top. That is not good for us. That is not good for us. That is okay. They don't know about the endurance. We could have potentially held it. That they could just do it in response here. I screwed up though. I should have bogged preemptively, um, so that they couldn't do that. Not playing tight. Oh my god, it didn't matter. I have to look at the games again. I hate to lose round one. Yeah, we can't keep that. So close too. Like we have the Thoughtseize, but then we keep that hand. They shuffle, and we even top deck the C's, and then they just drew well, I guess. Or I guess they only need to top deck the one Inferno, but so right here we should have bogged because we know their hand is triple Cabal Ritual. Yeah, we we should have just bogged here, but I don't think it would have mattered because like they were able to do everything, which is crazy. I think the only thing that saves us there because they top deck was is trap, but it is what it is. And then game one, we didn't bog, but they probably win anyways. Like we would have cut them off 2 mana so they couldn't peer, but they could ad nauseum for still a lot. It didn't matter there, Romario, but I'm talking about game one where we didn't bog and to cut them off mana. Um, they wouldn't have had a deterministic win like the way they did with, well, more deterministic, I should say, with pure the. I think with Maul. Not game three. I agree, Romario. I'm talking about game one. What is it called? I'm bad at multitasking, so I was answering a question and then I didn't bog in response to the in game one. I didn't bog in response to the Cabal ritual, and they ended up peering. Um, but that said, they probably can get ad nauseum, and it doesn't matter. I think one thing that is concerning is too many non-elves. Starts to clutter up some of these other matchups. Feels like a stifle might be coming based on the way they're playing. That land is like huge right now. Actually, gotta sequence this right. Endurance, notably, just really good here. Mm, they already played, sure. They already played land, which helps. Uh oh, are they on a combo deck? They haven't done anything. I think they're on a combo deck. Yeah. No, it's not your fault, Sager. I like one of my weaknesses and something I need to get better on is multitasking, and especially if I want to, um, be more entertaining or more engaging for stream viewers. And it's just like the reality is, I need to get better at it. So it's on me, really, not Sadra. Like Sadra didn't make me punt. He just asked me a question. Um, at the end of the day, it was my fault, and to be fair, if I don't want. It probably didn't matter. It could matter, but it probably I would have lost anyways. Game one. Too preordained to me and doing nothing the first few turns screams to me they're probably on Sneak and Show. So I think I'm gonna board for that. I don't love Trap. Let me check if I board that in. I feel like I do, but I don't really like it. Trap's the type of card I feel only works against either shaky players or shaky decks. But we'll see. We are making an educated guess here that our opponent is on Sneak and Show, but We could be wrong, right? We're just making an educated guess. Yeah, so actually, Sadra, going back to your point, you're absolutely right. Definitely against the Epic Storm, and I just saw your comment right now. Against the Epic Storm and the Epic Gamble, usually we're probably at best a 30% against those decks because Endurance is just a blank, right? All right. I think we're gonna turn one C's. I suspect they're on Sneak and Show, but we'll know that right now, right? Okay. Our intuition proved correct. Take the Emerald Coal. It's pretty funny actually. We know we have full information right now in their hand, which is kind of good. All right, that's kind of interesting. I think here we we can't grist next turn, nor do we care to. I think we just ramp, to be honest. And we're gonna get Caracas online, so at least, well, that doesn't help, I guess. We have one layer of protection, but it probably doesn't help. I think I sequence it this way. All right. What would you need for us to transit off else to just pure BG suit? We rely less on synergy. We have a better Mother of Runes Dark Ritual machine. I think I think what I would like printed is more main deck disruption that fits the game plan. Um, I don't know what that would be at this point. I would have to think about it more. But in terms of like strict upgrade, like a fire heritage druid would be pretty nice too. I think he would just get Cradle and just clench, right? All right. We may steal this game. I don't think Caracas does anything at this point, for what it's worth. So I'm just gonna go for the win. Let's see. We have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. I think we have lethal. Cancel. All right. It would be. Let's see. If they have days, that would just feel awful or forced. So I think I play it safe and do that, and then I'm gonna bounce the shepherd, and then untap the arbor. Okay, that's easier. A color shifted brainstorm would be very good. I think that's a great suggestion. So all right, we're 1-1. Notably, discard is insane against Sneak and Show, right? Like just pick them apart. Um, yeah, let's look at the deck. Since you brought it up, Sadra. Um, I think right now we have a few slots, and ideally we just have more disruption or just overpower cards in the main. So I don't think I think the mana base is pretty fixed for now, like barring something crazy. How many games do you play daily? I probably less at the moment. I used to play like 2 leagues a night. I think right now about like one on average. But yeah, I used to play more, less now. Uh, so that yeah, depending on like the not as fast as Reanimator, but the games go by pretty fast. 9 a.m. 6 it. Uh, I think the weakest card right now is if we can improve like the Heritage Druid to something better. That'd be nice. Um, Obviously these endurances can be like whatever, like essentially something that fits the game plan without wild beat disruption or just inherently really broken. Shepherd obviously does the latter. Reclaimer does the former.